Canadian flag, the strongest symbol of our nationhood. Although it is now recognized worldwide, it was not so long ago that the Canadian flag came to be. It took 40 years for Canada to make her own flag. It goes all the way back to the 1920s when Mackenzie King first put forward the idea of a national flag. The first attempt to adopt a flag failed, as well as the second attempt, also made by Mackenzie King in 1946. In the end, Prime Minister Mackenzie King did not live to see the official flag.
Even then, it wasn't until 15 years after his death that Canada's Prime Minister Lester B. Pearson took up the challenge to give Canada her international symbol. He gathered 15 members of Parliament and appointed them official members of a committee dedicated to making the Canadian flag. They had little time and thousands of candidates to choose from.
Although he was booed as he told the citizens that the time for a new flag had arrived, he stood for what he believed in. As explained in the following clip, CBC admired his perseverance.
Good evening, I'm Norman Depeau. You've been watching Prime Minister Lester Pearson as he stood rigidly to attention in Winnipeg last Sunday night while some 1,250 registered delegates to the 20th Biennial Convention of the Royal Canadian Legion and perhaps 700 others sang O Canada, which Mr. Pearson suggested today would be our national anthem before the end of the current session of Parliament. He also watched as a colour party of the Legion paraded past him bearing the red ensign, a flag which less than an hour later he would say no longer served our needs. He was booed and heckled as he did so. This afternoon it was the other way around, thunderous and prolonged Liberal applause as Mr. Pearson rose to defend his policy on the flag in the Commons. The boos, mostly from the Liberal benches, mind you, were for the opposition leader John Diefenbaker when he charged Mr. Pearson with wanting even greater disunity in Canada than previously. And so we're joined tonight in one of the most emotion-packed issues of our time, an issue which some people say should not have been brought up at all. But bring it up Prime Minister Pearson did in fulfillment of an election promise he and his party made through 2 campaigns. It's now clear that he personally would favor the Canadian flag, a design based on 3 red maple leaves on a blue ground. He's been told that is heraldically incorrect, so he likes a white ground as next best, possibly with blue bars that fly and staff, and possibly would go for a single maple leaf instead.
Lester B. Pearson's ideas for flags were accepted, but not by majority, as there were many who wanted a voice in what our symbol should be. There were many flags proposed as Canada's own, but needless to say, some were better than others. In the end, the committee was left with 3 flags. The prime focus of each flag was a maple leaf. The reasoning for such a common theme was that when you think of a maple leaf, you think of Canada. It was used during the visit of the Prince of Wales and was on the badge of all Canadian soldiers during World War I and World War II.
The flag that we have today was originally proposed by John Matheson, Lester B. Pearson's parliamentary assistant and MP. But even so, it wasn't John himself who came up with the idea. It was Dr. George Stanley, the Dean of Arts at the Royal Military College of Canada. 2 months before the Great Flag debate arose in Parliament in May 1964, he met with John for lunch. The two of them walked the grounds of the college discussing the issue of Canada's lusting for a new symbol that all would know her by, and Dr. George Stanley promptly pointed to the college's own flag, which was a mailed fist holding 3 maple leaves on a white background surrounded by blocks of red. He said to Matheson, "There's your flag, John," meaning for the mailed fist to be replaced by a single red maple leaf. Matheson took a mental memo on this design and later submitted it to the committee. Dr. George Stanley then wrote to John Matheson sometime after, saying, "A flag speaks for the people of a nation or community. It expresses their sorrow when it rises at half-mast. It honors those who have given their services to the state when it is draped over coffins. It silently calls all men and women to the service of the land in which they live. It inspires self-sacrifice, loyalty, and devotion."
So after years of debating and decisions, Canada is now blessed with the flag she has today. Although at first many Canadians did not want a flag, they quickly opened their minds to the thought of a new symbol that would grace their presence. Thus, Canada's red and white maple leaf flag was born.